You're live. Okay, cool. I'll be right back. Hey, there's one person here. Okay, so I just want to make a quick video about, since there was like more than one or two people interested, the difference, the very, very significant difference between the program that is amazing called Alcoholics Anonymous and what is a whole range of different possibilities that is or could be a treatment center. Okay, like the one I was in was not licensed to give out Advil. So anyway, they have these doctors that come in and do this stuff. It's all really fucked up because, all right, well, let's just, okay, intro, brief video about the difference between AA and treatment centers. And I guess you guys ask me questions after if you have more. Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step program designed, no, I'm just kidding, I don't remember the whole thing. Designed for men and women. I could read it from the big book. Maybe I will next time. So basically, you go through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous with another sober person. That's it. There is the 12 traditions, and it's the 12. I think it's the 12. Just maybe it's just the 12 traditions. I feel like I want it to be the 12 traditions and something else, but like old school and the only AA I feel like that is authentic, that I would recommend. It's like the way that the way that your sponsor went through the steps, they will take you through the steps. And then you're sort of like, it's a really beautiful tradition. So treatment centers steal from AA. I mentioned, I thought it was interesting in the movie Body Brokers. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to make a few references to that movie. If you haven't seen it, they might not make sense. I recommend you seeing it. I don't want to give away the movie though. He liked a girl and went on a date with this girl that worked at the treatment center that he went to, and she took him to his first meeting after 90 days being in a treatment center, which I thought was like interesting. The treatment centers that I was in, every night they took us in, we called it the druggy buggy, to AA meetings. The thing about treatment centers is that they have a whole other list of agendas and different other things. I can't tell you how many times this is a very common thing that you'll hear in treatment. Hopefully you'll never end up in one, or at least if you do, it's a good one. That's not in the big book. That's not in the big book, because the things that they were telling us was crazy. When I got there, a guy who has been there, I think he had been at the Hills like 4 times, but it was like his 19th time in rehab. He was like 27 years old or 28. I was 30. I was like, the fuck is happening in California? Anyway, he was like, Ashley, whatever your first question is, make it something you don't give a shit about, because they're going to say no. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, that's just how it goes. So I remember you were like allowed to smoke cigarettes by the pool, but just to be stupid, I was like, can I smoke a cigarette by the pool? Like, nope. And I was like, but aren't we allowed to smoke at the pool? It's individual for everyone. And the answer for you, Ashley, is no. Okay. Weird. That is not in AA and stuff like that. So the major difference is that Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step program. You work through the steps with a sponsor, you go to meetings, you don't drink, you don't pick up, and you take other people through the steps. It's like super simple and super amazing. Not easy, amazing and effective. millions of people all over the world stay sober with just the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. Treatment centers, especially after the Obama Health Care Act of 2008, which unleashed billions of dollars to basically people with and without insurance, 72 billion per year in Southern California alone, to do these treatment centers. I mean, like charging $2,000 for a cup of pee. That's insane. Um, all kinds of just it was just a scam, and so it got dirty. And the thing that I experienced and what I want to speak on is that there were so many good people, especially that I met in the rooms of AA. And the people that got involved, I don't think treatment centers are probably going to be a thing for long, especially after like there's just been so much Hondo Bean, and in Florida too. They called it something in Florida. They called it was like the like the treatment center shuffle or something. It was awful. A documentary I saw. But what I saw and what I in 2011 when I was in treatment, it's a weird word. Semantics are so silly. What I saw and what I can say now I saw then was people that like I didn't know until 2 days ago, somebody who's my friend who used to take my pee in a cup. He worked at the Hills. He was a tech there, you know. He reached out to me like 3 years ago and let me know it wasn't licensed and let me know a whole bunch of other stuff. Anyway, he said he was a body broker. I was like, "Oh my god," because I told him about the movie. I was like, "Have you seen Body Brokers?" Like, he's like, "I was a body broker for a little while. I got into it to be of service." And if you see the movie, that's absolutely how I feel about the main character's name is Utah, but he seems like a nice kid. Like, everyone makes mistakes, gets involved in bad situations. He got involved in a bad situation and looked for help. And you know what was there? The fucking devil with like a crocodile big mouth, and then just more devils after that. Like, it was so uh the concept of a person being stuck in the what do you what do I wanted to say, I had it in my head in the I want to say not the like the somebody who is in a see, I think this is my thing, but I think everyone's different. And I bow down to people that are sober in AA. I bow down to anybody doing what's right for them. I do believe that sometimes it can be a shitty situation combined with a personality type that might have more of a proclivity to, some people will eat, some people will shop, some people will, um, you know, uh, drink wine, whatever. Everyone has kind of a different sort of leaning to self soothe. Not many of us are born with the ability to like either meditate or like take a bath. You know what I mean? Like there's just too much other stuff, which in my opinion isn't really any of our faults. There's a lot of just nonsense. That being said, and moving forward, hi Angela. Stop it. Um, there were so these treatment centers, like the one I was in was 45 grand a month. Like it was the most uncomfortable thing on the world. I was like, you know, I didn't even know how to process that. And then on top of that, they're charging like 2 grand for people, blah, 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 blah. So people that have good hearts and good intentions, and most of the people that work at these places are recovering addicts. And like at the Hills, they required 1 year. People went out. I remember one time this girl named I won't say her name, but she was one of the techs. So the techs like drive you places, they take your pee, they um whatever. They usually watch like groups, sometimes they facilitate groups. She was like, I remember her telling me her story which included a lot of meth and a lot of violence and a lot of stuff that I wasn't aligned with, but whatever. She was a nice woman, but I can tell like she was tough, and she looked like she lived a tough life, but she was kind. But then she kind of changed. She started like showing up and like clean, like in the middle of the night, they open your door, make sure you're there. It's really traumatizing, actually. They do it like right at 3 a.m., which I think is like a mind fuck thing because that's like if you go to bed at 9 or 10, like when you would kind of like be in sustained REM, like REM sleep. I remember she started like cleaning, like all like started like like it was a different person. Do you know what I'm saying? And I mean it's not no judgment or anything, but and like for a very long time felt nervous getting in the car with her. Um, anyway, I ordered Xanax to the rehab in the very beginning. I was like, all right, if I'm gonna fucking have to do this, I'm gonna get through it with some benzos. Long story short, I got busted with the Xanax. It was a whole scene where like especially this one woman who's a different tech, screaming in my face in front of probably like 16 people. It was, like, embarrassing as fuck, I felt very ashamed of myself. "How dare you have this Xanax in here? You're so" like, whatever. I don't think she called me a bitch or anything, but "People are fighting for their fucking lives in here. People are fucking fighting for their sobriety, blah, blah, blah," screaming in my face. She was kind of like a big woman. I was just like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." That woman tested positive for meth, like, 3 or 4 months later. Again, no judgment, I just don't like the hypocrisy part. Hi, Wolfie, how are you? Hi, Bobby. Just random. I liked that people were interested in the topic. I saw Salone wasn't live. So, it's pretty simple. AA is, a 12-step, uh like I said a few times already, it's a 12-step system of recovery. You go to meetings, you have a sponsor, you go through the steps. Once you go through the steps, the idea is to find sponsees and take them through the steps. But also, once you go through the steps, you're supposed to start the steps over again. I'm not active in AA again. I mean, I'm not active in AA right now, but I loved the year and a half that I was. And I love recovery. I love all kinds of healing and any way that things work. Treatment centers can be a disaster. And I had no idea that there was like I mean, it makes a lot of sense after this 2008 healthcare bill where there were people were forced or I don't it opened up floodgates of money, and so people that weren't even like, for example, and this is like the mind fuck that I worry about for people. For example, I had an intervention on me. My mom had a stroke. I guess like whatever. Long story short, so when you go in having to have an intervention, and this is one of the times I'm saying like I think people can go through a tough time and like, either start whatever their, like, vice might be. Some people eat, some people shop, some people, have sex, whatever, most of us, because of this thing called life, have different ways of coping, that are not just totally natural, like sitting in meditation and just, positive thinking our way out of it. So and also I was, like, 20 yeah, I guess I was 29. So if when you go into one of these places, these cash hungry people with an intervention, I'm like, this has all been blown out of proportion. I said that. This has all been blown out of proportion. They're like, yeah, they all say that, you know what I mean? And like they break it down in this movie Body Breakers, like the detox. Like I told you, some people came in sober, like real like they hadn't done any drugs in 2 weeks and waited for a bed or whatever. And they put them on detox drugs for 2 weeks. So they'd be like high for 2 weeks. And like it was there were so many things that didn't make sense to me. Um, so and knowing that there's so much money involved, uh, was involved. I hope that there's a lot of or at least, more regulation on this now. Um, like, because you take somebody who's vulnerable, who's in a bad situation, whether there's an I don't know about the whole addict thing, like whether you're an addict or you know what I'm saying? I think everyone has to decide that kind of thing for themselves. But whether someone's going through a tough time and using a substance because of that, or it was their own thing, whatever it is, you're preying on someone at the lowest of the low. You're preying on someone who's in a tough and really painful place, hence the symptom of whatever the substance or the excessive shopping or eating or whatever the behavior is that is, self-soothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's really what broke my heart about it is like, especially this movie and the whole situation is like, a lot of these people are just in bad parts of their life, but then they get fed all this like mind control, weird stuff. Like, what kind of thing is that? The first question that they ask you is going to be no. That's weird. Um, Other things, like at first they were like, you're sick. It's in your brain. No, 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 no. None of this kind of stuff happens in AA rooms. Okay, you read the big book. Um, uh, you're sick, like it's as if somebody had cancer. And I said for 2 weeks, I'm not comfortable calling myself an addict. I don't want to tell my brain that I'm a drug addict because I don't believe that. And so I like because they wanted you to say like in the morning, "Hi, I'm Ashley, I'm an alcoholic." Hi, and at night, "Hi, I'm Ashley, I'm an alcoholic." When you go to a meeting, "Hi, I'm Ashley, I'm not alcoholic or addict." And I'm like, I'm start doing that, and they're like, okay, so maybe tomorrow you'll want your phone and your computer. Literally, I had to say that. And then finally, I was like, okay, I'm here for my sister. Nope, can't say that either. So to get my computer back, and then when I got busted for the Xanax, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to do this thing. And I enjoyed it and I loved it. The treatment center, not so much. They're all dirty, nasty. Um, Not all, a lot. The owner always smelled like weed, always. He slept with 3 patients or clients that I know of, not only while he was married, but while he was, like, 65 and they were, like, 22. That's just it's unacceptable. It's just it's gross stuff, but I just wanted to make very clear that anybody that feels like they want help or um, might think they have an issue with alcohol or drugs, go to an AA meeting, please. There's open ones where you can just sit in the back. You can go online. There's meeting directories everywhere, but that's where God is, right? And that's where the truth is. And that's where so much love is. I meant to say this in a video the other day. I felt really sad in 2020 when like all the AA meetings basically went to Zoom. And I think now, as I understand it from a few of my friends in recovery, they have meetings, like meetings are up and going now. If anyone's in recovery, please let me know. Um, but that is just it's the most special place you can be. The energy there, I can't explain it. I love AA meetings. But I absolutely recommend AA. I'm not saying all treatment centers are bad, but a lot of them in South California, Southern California, and Florida have been like there's lawsuits with the one that doesn't even exist anymore that I was in, both on Georgia, Robin Davis, and Howard Samuels. Um, so there was like bad stuff. But for example, when I told my friend about this movie about body brokers, you can see like this one guy's you can't really tell like like was he a good guy, but at this same time like there were so many people, and this will be in AA rooms too. It's just everywhere. But like I think some people can either they'll like break or some I don't know how to say this. Some people either are stuck for some time in a period of trauma where they're not it's not that they're not safe, they're just not predictable even for themselves. You could like one teacher said to me, "Ashley, you have a big ass green light for all the love you can give to everyone and anyone that needs it. But a big no green light, yeah? Big fucking stop sign for other people's energy and weird shit." I gotta get better at that, you know? but I'm pretty good at it now, but that's mostly geography-wise. Let me see what you guys are up to. Yeah, I don't label myself it was another great story that made me really happy. I think also 2020s, but also people that love the big book and, they're called big book thumpers, but go for it, you know what I mean? Like, that's their thing. Like, I think we should all just be whatever. But my friend who is active in AA, she has 7 years after having 4, and she, like, went out for, like, a month and is now, like, with 7 years. I was telling her about the movie Wine Country that I think I told you about, which is really funny, guys. I don't like SNL, but it's got a lot of the women from SNL in it, and it's just funny. I watched it twice, like 2 days in a row. I was just because laughter is the best. I was just in my bed like, "Ah!" But, I think about people that are in recovery, so I said, "If wine doesn't bother you," and this is, like, also like one of my best friends for 15 years, but when it comes to that, she's like, "Ashley, you're so funny." She's like, I'm not gonna say it, but she's like, someone around her, like, smokes a vape pen. She's like, "I take hits once in a while the last year or so," and I'm like, I think it's a good thing, like, we shouldn't have anything one thing I don't like about also treatment centers, which is exactly it's to their business model why they do it, is they put so much guilt and shame, and then, that kind of stuff is so toxic and nasty and almost guarantees people to return, and then there becomes this, like, guilt shame cycle. That doesn't happen in AA, you know? What happens in AA is that people keep being happy to see you, and if you don't show up, they're wondering why you don't show up, and they call you because they care. Um, but I just thought it was so great because when my girlfriend told me that, I'm like, I just want everyone to live their lives happy. Marijuana, like I said before, is the only thing I don't recommend it for people. Um, Almost everyone actually is a little affected from marijuana. It does like I rarely feel or get stoned. It's the one thing that has kept me from being active in bulimia or restricting, which is not eating food. I have rice in my mouth, sorry. For 10 years. It settles my stomach after I eat, so I never feel like that weird feeling that I used to feel when I used to go to the toilet and throw up. And it's been 10 years. I never ever thought I could be that long. Um, and then what else? Yeah, it calms me down. I used to smoke cigarettes, so it's sort of like that thing too. But I know eventually I'll let go of that. And we all have our own relationships with things. It's a lioness blanket for me, totally. Most rehabs are run by criminals. In the movie, the guy who finds them on the street is like lives in this like you'd imagine it's like a house in the hills or something in LA. He's like not only doing cocaine, like having some party, he like sells it too, I think. It's and then but to think of like, for example, the year and a half that I was there, I like, I was like really into it. I thought everyone else was too. But I mean, there was so much weird stuff, and I just don't want to really go into any really of that today, but um, it was awful, but, it was 10 years ago. I don't suffer today, but I evolved today. I get stronger today. I definitely cried when I watched the movie because it just like a bunch of stuff hit me. Like I was like, it made things make sense. And I guess we're all different, but I'm a kind of person that I guess I'm just like in the last stages of it of like tying up some really confusing question mark loose ends about the last decade of my life, and like just letting the other ones go. But when something like that like finds me, like when Sloan mentions it, it was perfect. I felt like it kind of like broke open something I didn't remember, and then I just got to like seal it up and also like just be a little bit wiser and stronger. And it like inspired me also to talk more about AA and recovery and like and also to know that I was never wrong. Always trust your gut. Always trust your body doesn't know how to lie to you. I went along with it and it was fine and blah blah blah. But then I got to the point where after a year and a half, I took 2 people through the steps, 2 and a half, and, you know, I was directed that, I'm not actually an addict, that my eating disorder is what I need to focus on. I'm like, "Okay, so when do I get the fuck out of here?" Laughter is absolutely the best. 12 Steps doesn't revolve around monetary politics, no comparison to the money grubbing centers. Also, another very interesting thing, you can use the 12 steps on your relationship, on your business. It's like genius. It's pretty amazing. Um, I'm trying to remember where I have some information on that and I can pull it out and talk to you guys about it. But it's very cathartic. I still do a 10th step every night, which is like reviewing your day. Where was I selfish? Where could I have been like of service where I might not have been? And, I think it's a good thing because in the daytime, when I make a decision, which isn't often, I think I'm just inclined to want to do what I think is good or nice or whatever. But, like, for example, if there's, like, a piece of trash outside that, like, isn't mine, but it's right there and I could pick it up, but, like, no one's gonna see, like, that's the kinda stuff I kind of love. Like, I have this thing I'll say, "If you seen it, clean it and grab it," you know? But, yeah, whenever I think anything even more serious, "Is this gonna fuck with my 10th step tonight? Is this gonna bother me?" And that's another thing too, after I left in 2012, a lot of people started making, like, recovery groups like AA, but, like, they smoked pot too. I felt like it was sad that people were not allowed not allowed, but not encouraged or whatever to experience recovery, experience going through the steps just because they chose to drink wine once in a while or pot or whatever, you know what I mean? That's another thing too. It's a bit black and white or was, so I think a lot of people they used to say having a head full of AA and a belly full of alcohol because like the shame and the guilt, it's it's pretty soul shaking, you know, when you think when you go through it. Hey, Bobby. How are you feeling, Bobby? I know you were fighting the cucarachas for a little bit. I hope you're feeling strong. Thank you. You're more beautiful. Bobby has the most beautiful, like, light hazel eyes, guys, if you've seen. I love your eyes. Hi, Angela. Thank you. Virgo. She always pops on here at Virgo Psych, and she tells me Sloane's on. Is Sloane on? Hi, Cadillac. Alcyone? I don't know what that is. Oh, man. Well, take strong like immune vitamin C, guys. Vitamin C is one of the only vitamins you guys, silencio. Vitamin C is one of the only vitamins our body doesn't make. So that's an important one. Obviously, vitamin D. Um, yeah, and just I'm sending you so much love and healing, Bobby. You've been fighting it for like a month now, right? Sometime. I got this thing like in early March, and I feel really lucky. I also stay very like isolated and socially distanced. But do you have viral pneumonia now? I hope not. Thank you, Virgo Psych. No, totally. And if you want, I'll message you on Instagram. I heard of if this woman Fleur Brun, FleuRBRUN, has like a detox. If anybody like had to take the cucarachi and didn't want to or whatever, she has a detox. I have no idea what it is. I think she's saying something like cayenne pepper, lemon. I think it's involves fasting, but I'll send it to you on Instagram, Bobby, her link. I feel like if I had gotten stuck doing it, I probably would do it. Like I would do like the detox thing. I don't know. But I also feel like, you know what? They're so sloppy. I feel like probably some people got water, some kids got adult stuff. You know what I mean? Like I think we're also alchemists, you know? Like I know Bobby knows like we can like work it out ourselves. He said, I want to go to the bathroom, Mom. Can you take me to go pip his poo-poos? Can you take me to go pip his poo-poos? Sister baby. He's so cute, right? Animals are the best. Oh, we had an awesome live last night and we convinced the guy to adopt a dog today or tomorrow. He's supposed to let us know tomorrow. But I do got to take this guy out. I love you guys. I'm going to pop back on here if Sloan is not on. I took that, that's what, because you have to be careful talking. Well, vagina is the other thing. Fettuccine is the other guy. Cucarachi shot. It's so, they make us talk like silly people. Gifted Holy Spirit in 2013. God bless. Stay blessed. You'll always stay blessed. ACV in my water? What's ACV? And I had not gotten sick in over a year. And after being around people who are, it's the most simple, cheap. What is ACV? Angela, they're asking me to look at your message. Like as if it, oh my gosh. Can you believe they're like asking me to approve vitamin C? What world are we living in? This message that Angela wrote, take vitamin C every day, no vagina for me. Okay, let's give YouTube all the credit. Maybe they thought vagina was, that should be our bumper sticker. Maybe they thought vagina could have been a sketchy word. I love you guys. Have a good night. What's ACV? What's ACV? I want to say it's alkali, but like, I feel like we have to ask our stomach about like everything. Sometimes I don't, like lately, sometimes I've been like, just like very particular about food, but I don't feel at all now. Like there's certain times like it's, I think, important to fast. I think we need to stay strong and eat as much as we can right now. Apple cider vinegar. That's also great for your skin for literally like almost anything. You put it in your water. I have apple cider vinegar. Yeah, that is the best. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to take them out. I'll come back later if Sloan's not on. I love you. I love you. I love you. I know I would. Well, now it's a thing. Apple cider vinegar. ACV. Do you know what? Because my name is my initials are AVC. My middle name is Virginia. But growing up, and I'm a Leo sun, so it makes sense. My whole life, whenever I was in a car, I was like, why do they have this button just for me? Like the air conditioning? Why are my initials like in every car, Dada? I love you guys. Stay blessed and stay happy. Mwah.